Hey y'all, welcome back to the Osha Cerese Show. I am your host, Osha Cerese, and I'm a little late today. Forgive me. Auntie went outside last night. You know, that's not often that I go outside. But I went outside last night, and y'all know I'm on this juice and raw vegan cleanse this week. Cheers to health. We got our green juice. I put a little coconut water in here too because I was at the last bit of the green juice. So it's about half green juice, half coconut water. But cheers to health. Okay. I wasn't sure how the combination would taste together. Absolutely amazing. But happy Sunday. Excuse me. Happy Sunday, y'all. And welcome back to the Asha Cerese Show. This is your midday. It's a little bit evening right now, but midday reset. Your daily dose of real talk, healing, and intentional growth, where we take what's happening in culture and turn it into lessons for real life. This is where healing meets headlines and alchemy turns gossip into growth. If you're just tuning in for the first time, welcome. We're going to be diving into celebrity news, hot topics, trending topics, headlines, relationships, self-love, self-discovery, and intentional dating, while making sure that you walk away with some valuable um, gems that you can apply to your life. So today's episode is extra special because we're diving into Black love. This is Black History Month. Happy Black History Month. We're going to be highlighting something to do with Black love every day this month. We're talking about romance for men, and we're also talking about self-prioritization. It's going to be a good one, so grab you something, a snack, a drink, or if you just want to sit and take you some deep breaths, and let's get on into it. Let me get another couple of sips or gulps of this green juice. I don't like when it sits too long to start separating. How's your Sunday going, everybody? I am live here on YouTube and Instagram. I'm just let y'all know this. I won't be doing this show live on Instagram the whole time. I'm doing it for the first um maybe week just to let y'all know what's going on. If you haven't already, you need to go to my YouTube and subscribe to my channel. That's where this show is going to be live every day. That's where you'll have the updates. That's where you'll also be able to see, what I have going on, my interviews, my vlogs. I have self-love, healing, intentional dating, all of those type of things. I do some food reviews as well as some TV reviews. Right now I'm reviewing the show Harlem that's on Prime TV, Prime Video. And I'm posting some throwbacks from the Risa Tisa series from last year that I reviewed. So that's what's going on this week on my channel. Make sure you have subscribed. It's youtube.com/@Osha That's youtube.com/the @ symbol OSHACERESE. All right, so today's lesson for Black history related to Black love. This is something that was news to me. I may be late to the party. I guess I am. Because did y'all know that there's an actual Black Love Day? Who knew? I had no idea. This is not what's taught to us in school. I don't know. I don't think my parents know because my dad is big on different holidays and stuff, and he ain't never said nothing. I'm gonna have to tell him next time we talk. Um, Black Love Day is a real recognized holiday. It's not a federal holiday, but it's recognized. And it is it's about all Black love. It's not just about romantic love, but we'll get into that. So the holiday was founded in 1993 by A.O. Handy Kendi. She's a Black woman, author, community activist, and she created this holiday as an alternative to Valentine's Day, specifically celebrating Black love in all forms. Now, I read that she was inspired after she watched the Malcolm X movie starring Denzel Washington. But this holiday, Black Love Day, is on February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day, and it celebrates all types of love. So there's 5 tenets of Black Love Day. Love for the creator, source, the Most High God, however you describe who created us, love for self, love for family, love for the Black community, and love for Black people. So y'all know I love this. This aligns with everything that I speak about. And I believe I'm going to start celebrating Black Love Day. We're going to have to do something special on Black Love Day, okay? That is now something that I'm going to add into days that deserve to be celebrated. I have a cousin who's born on February 13th, so I'm going to have to let him know that there's a holiday on his day. I found out recently that there's a holiday on my birthday as well, which I'm a Leo, so we don't really like. I'm a Leo, and I grew up the only child. I have siblings that I didn't grow up with. So I don't really like to share, and I like my day to be about me. But I believe it's like National Aunts Day, which I am an aunt, so it's still my day as well. But I have to celebrate it with all the aunties. But anyway, I wanted to get into a couple of topics today, but first let me ask you all, are you going to celebrate Black Love Day now that you know that it's a thing? And what do you think about the fact that we have a Black Love Day? And have you ever heard of it? And if you haven't, what do you feel about that? Because I don't like that I've never heard about it, but there's a first for everything. We have to do our own research. And that's why it's important for us to continue to find the information that is available to us while it's still available. Because my homegirl told me that I may not be able to say this online, but certain information is being scrubbed so that we can't really access it. But look at my friends, y'all. We went out last night and had a whole photo shoot in the dang on in the lounge that we went to. But anywho, Black Love Day, February 13th. Who's celebrating? Let me know what you're going to do and what you feel about it. But today in Culture Clinic, this is the segment where we talk about what the highlight of the celebrity gossip, trending news, headlines, whatever we're going to be talking about. So today we're going to be talking about the rapper Finesse 2 Times. I think he's seen that song. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. I like that. He always is in the headlines for something controversial, whether it's having multiple women pregnant at the same time, beefing with a child that he had around him that's supposed to, I think it's his godson, had him around cussing and doing smoking and being a thug. He always in the limelight for something negative. But I want to talk about what he recently went viral for. And that was his girlfriend going all out. She got one of those, I think it's like a dome that you can get filled up with balloons and gifts and pictures hanging from the ceiling and, R&B playing and some type of cute dinner and a bootleg charcuterie board. I think she just had some fruit and cheese. And, she went all out to ask him to be her Valentine. A lot of women in the comments that I saw were not too pleased with this. They felt like she was doing too much. One lady said, "May this love never find me. May this kind of love never find me." They said that they would rather sweep the beach with a broom or mop the ocean, mop up the ocean. They weren't feeling it. There were a lot of guys that were like, "Ladies, take notes. Men deserve romance too. That's what I'm talking about." And then I saw some women that were also saying that men deserve romance, that they would do that for their men, that I don't really like this angle, but I'm gonna work with it. They said they would do it too. They said that they not gonna say nothing because they would do that for their men. And there were some men that were like, "Nah, bro, that ain't it." So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about a few things. I mean, let me just sprinkle some questions to the audience. If you are watching live on YouTube or Instagram, feel free to comment. I will be able to see your comments and I will respond to them. So my first question is, should men receive equal romantic gestures or should the expectations be different? Second question I want to ask, is Valentine's Day really for couples, or has it become a holiday centered around women? And then we're going to talk about this later on too, but how do love language factor into this? Because maybe it's less about who does what and more about, making someone feel loved. So what do you think? Drop your comments. Again, I'm live here on YouTube, live on Instagram. I got Instagram over here looking at the comments. If you see me looking over here, I got my notes here. So again, those questions are: should men receive equal romantic gestures, or should the expectations be different? Is Valentine's Day really for couples, or has it become a holiday centered around women? How do love language factor into this? So I also want to talk about today, there was another viral post on the Shade Room that asked, what do men do better than women? And one of the top answers were men prioritize themselves. So let's sit with that for a second. Do men really prioritize themselves? Um, Naturally, is that a natural thing that men do? Because, my grandma used to always say self-preservation is the law of the land. So are men really prioritizing themselves in most cases, prioritizing themselves, their needs, their desires, not settling for what they don't want, not putting up for what they don't want? Even when it comes to, like, I think men are really good with their cutoff game. Like, when certain things cross their boundaries, I think that they are more likely, this is just my opinion, I don't have the stats on this, but I feel like they're more likely to um keep it moving. Like, let's say for instance, being cheated on. A lot of women are staying after they've been cheated on, and most men, if a woman cheats on them, they're not going to handle it the same way. So I don't know, what do y'all think? Do men prioritize themselves better than women? I want to also point out the flip side of this, because I do recognize that men do have a lot of pressure on them for societal expectations to lead, to provide, to always have it together. And this was actually a conversation that I was involved in last night as well with two men. One was a married man, one is a single man. And they were just sharing how sometimes, men are, even when they're in relationships, they're expected to have everything together. And if they, whether they have it together or not, they're expected to appear that they do. So in other words, it seems like, from what I received, they were basically saying that they're not allowed to be vulnerable or not have it all together, not have all the answers and not have all the solutions, and not talk about it and not complain about it. That's what they were saying that they felt from being in relationships or being married. So on one hand, I think men do a good job at prioritizing themselves. And then on the other hand, I do recognize that sometimes they have the weight of the world on their shoulders as well, to be the man, which we all know in societal terms means to lead, to provide, to protect, to have it together. And not gonna lie, women, we do prefer to have solution based men that know how to handle things. And a lot of women are not equipped to hold space for men's vulnerability or lack, or um, need to vent about the things that they're going through. And it's not really fair for men, because, like they were saying last night, they might be able to talk about it one time or bring it up one time around their homies, but their homies are not going to want to just sit there and hear that all the time. And then a lot of women don't want to hear a man's woes and ohs all the time, because, for one, she has her own things that she's going through. For two, she's looking at him to be the stability and the foundation and the rock. So it is troubling. That's why I suggest having your own team of people, like a therapist, a coach, a support system, a pastor, outside of your relationship. I definitely feel like people in relationships should be able to hold space for each other, not make someone feel bad for being vulnerable or having a hard time, provide support and love when someone is going through something. But at the same time, we all need other people to lean on, because just leaning on the person that you're in a relationship with can be a lot of pressure for both people. But we'll get more into that in a second. What I will ask, I'm going to drop some more questions. What can women learn about prioritizing their needs from men? So, what can women learn from men about prioritizing their own needs? How do men balance self-prioritization with the pressure to provide? And how can we create more balance in relationships where both partners feel cared for? So we will address that. If you have an answer to any of these questions, please put a comment. Again, the questions are: what can women learn from men about prioritizing their own needs? How do men balance self-prioritization with the pressure to provide? And how can we create more balance in relationships where both parties and both partners feel cared for? So let's get into this. I really want to talk about how my takeaways from this is that love should be reciprocal. But that doesn't necessarily mean equal, as in like 50-50 tit for tat. It's just more like intentional. So it's, you know, splitting everything 50-50 can be different for everybody. Like, what does that really mean? Does that mean we pay the same, we do the same down the board, every responsibility is literally cut in half? Or does that mean everyone puts in 100% equally for the same cause? We're on the same team, we're all in. And when it comes to making sure each other feel valued, it has to be in a way that makes sense for everybody. So that's why I feel like love languages definitely matter. You know, what's his name? Dr. Gary Chapman. He did his thing when he came up with them love languages based off of his practice with couples therapy. And it makes sense because everybody does not give or receive love the same. So even with this finesse 2 time thing, it's like his woman rented out the bubble. She got the bubble dome. She filled it up. And maybe she knew that he likes stuff like that. Maybe he does romantic things for her like that all the time, like that for her all the time. And she just listening to him say, you know, making comments like, I sure wish you would do something like this for me sometimes, or who knows? We're not in their relationship and their dynamic clearly because they got a lot going on. But for whatever reason, she felt like he would receive that type of romantic treatment. And sometimes women do things like that thinking that their man would like it because they would like something like that for themselves. And we feel like if we can show you better than we could tell you. If we're asking you all the time, do more romantic things. I like romantic gestures, hinting, you know, bringing up the fact that we really like something that someone else did for their woman online and sharing it, make it a Pinterest board or whatever it is that you do to hint to your man. Sometimes you feel like you could show them better than you could tell them. So sometimes women do things like these big grand romantic gestures for men because that's what they want for themselves. Meanwhile, the man don't even like stuff like that. Or the man feels emasculated, or he feels like, why are you doing all this? Why would you spend the money on this when you could have just got me tickets to a game? Or maybe they needed a massage. They would have liked a spa day. Maybe they just wanted some peace and quiet, a day to themselves if they got, you know, kids or they're constantly working all the time. What is it that your man likes versus just the normal romantic gesture? And this goes both ways because some women don't like that type of stuff. So love languages matter. If your woman or man's love language is physical touch, but all your gifts are actual gifts, like you're celebrity wise, they get in cars, and you know, average people, they get gift cars as well. But cars, jewelry, furs, clothes, all of these big things. When your partner just wants a good hug, a good cuddle session, maybe just a body rub, a massage, a head massage, something that requires no money, but just physical touch. So you're not reading the room right. So I believe that love languages definitely matter. And you should find out. You should have that communication with your partner early on how they love to receive, how they like to receive gifts. And even if it's not how you usually like to give, you should still take it into consideration, and you can mix it in with how you like to love on people. So if they like gifts, but you are an acts of service type person, you can get them a thoughtful gift because that's what they like. But then you can also show your love in the way that you like to show your love, and communicate that that's what you're doing. Because um when the author of the 5 love languages was on Dear Future Wifey, he was talking about, I don't know if it was when he was on Dear Future Wifey or from the actual book, but he was talking about how um hey, how you doing? Broken Traditions is in the building on YouTube. Shout out to you. He was talking about how a married couple, it was like the husband was doing so much for this wife, and he was like, nothing that I'm doing is making her satisfied, like she's not happy. And it might have been something like he was I think he was like cooking and doing things around the house. Or no, it was actually, that's what she wanted him to do. So he was doing something else completely out of, bringing her flowers. So bringing her flowers, showering her with those type of gifts, and feeling like he was showing his love that way. All she wanted him to do was help around the house, like cook sometimes, help her clean up. So it was just a break in communication when you're doing all that you can, because a lot of times people battle between like feeling appreciated versus effort, the effort that's given and the appreciation that's shown. But sometimes the effort that you're giving is not being received well, because it's not how that person receives love. So they're not even looking at it as the type of gesture that you're intending it to be. So that can all be solved with a little bit of communication and redirection and ability to adjust and adapt to your partner's needs. So, like I said, if your man's love language is acts of service or gifts, then yes, he might like romantic gestures like the one Finesse 2 times did. But if his love language is words of affirmation, he might just want to hear that he's appreciated. A lot of men just want to be appreciated, honestly. But just telling him how much you recognize what he does, you recognize his contributions, you recognize his presence and how it has made a difference in your life. You appreciate just him being there. You appreciate the things that he does for you and who he is as a person. You appreciate the little things that he might not even recognize. Like, he might just need to hear that. So again, when it comes to self-preservation and self-prioritization, and if men are better at that, I want to know what y'all think, because I don't see any answers in the chat about that. But I would say that I think men are better. I don't know if it's the emotional, the nurturing side of us as women, the fact that we take on everybody else's needs and prioritize those. But I do think there's a difference. But I do want to recognize that some men do prioritize other people as well. So y'all let me know what y'all think. Who prioritizes who the most? Who prioritizes self the most, men or women? Men or women? And y'all let me know what y'all think about the Valentine's Day thing. Would you do that for your man? Do you feel like Valentine's Day has drifted away from being about couples, or is it about a woman? Because they have something called Sweetest Day, right? And that's supposed to be specifically for men. But I personally believe that men deserve romance as well. I don't know. I I don't know if it should be the same type. That's why I said the love languages matter, but I don't know if I necessarily agree about the same type of romance. I think that like there's a big thing about men not often receiving flowers. So I think that it is sweet to give a man some flowers, but I don't know if it would be something that I would do like on a weekly basis, like how you would see some men bring their woman flowers every week. I think it would be I think it would be more of a thoughtful thing. Like you were on my mind, or I thought this would brighten up your day. I don't know. I don't know. I think that's tricky when it comes to romance and things that we normally see done for women being done for men. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess it just depends on your man, but I'm trying to think if I would want my man to want to be to want to have the type of gifts that you would traditionally see a woman receiving all the time. Now, I'm the type of woman that when I have a man, I love to spoil a man, and I am romantic as well. I think it also goes back to being the reciprocation. So if a deserving man, he's a good man, y'all get along, y'all have love between you, he's showing you love in the ways that you like to receive it, then most definitely he definitely should be receiving that same thing in return in the way that he wants to receive it. And sprinkle in some of your own personal sauce to that. So if you want to have a candlelight dinner and put some flowers on the table and candles, and that's not really his thing, maybe that's for you. But the romance part for him is the food and the company. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. So Sweet Tea Inspiration says she feels like men prioritize themselves better than women. So some women in the comments of the Finesse 2 times were comparing her gesture to proposing to a man. I don't think it's that deep. I guess the romantic part is not so bad, but it's the so she asked him to be her Valentine's. I'm kind of leaning towards the fact that I think that men should continue to uphold that tradition. I think I'm a little conflicted. Can I see myself asking a man to be my Valentine? And it's not just a random man that she's dating. It is her man. I guess. Will you be my Valentine? I don't know if that's necessarily for me. I'm gonna just say that. I don't know if that's necessarily for me. I think that's something that's sweet for a man to do for a woman. I think if you want to, you know, return the favor with some sweet gesture, if he asks you to be his Valentine and you do something sweet, but then the sweet gestures are supposed to be on Valentine's Day, no? It's too many holidays to keep up with. I think I'm gonna just stick with Black Love Day this year because the Valentine's Day rules they a little bit too tricky for me. I don't know. Maybe it's been too damn long since I've had a Valentine to know what the rules are. Y'all tell me, the people that's been actively dating or in a relationship or in a marriage, what are the Valentine's Day rules? Because I can't keep up. Can a woman ask a man to be their Valentine's? Can a woman shower a man with the same type of gifts that a woman normally receives? And do y'all like it? Because I can't. I don't know. I'm really having an internal struggle about this at this point. I'm having an internal struggle. But I wanted to talk about, let's see some more of these comments about what men do better than women. Let me see if I can find it. So, this is on the same level. Somebody said live life selfishly. And I think, I mean, it goes hand in hand with prioritizing self. But even when it comes to like parenting, so again, I said I recognize that men do have the weight of the world on their shoulder when it comes to pressure and expectations of society to lead, protect, provide, and be the man and have it all figured out. Um, but even when it comes to being a parent, and a woman is going to automatically have that type of love hormone towards their child, and they're automatically assumed to be the person that can't go nowhere, even though we know that there's some mothers that dip out, but the fathers don't have that same connection as a woman does. Of course, men love their children, they're connected to their children, they want to be fathers, that some of them are there and present and active and all of that. But I'm just saying, like, the fact that some men have the option to just leave knowing that that child is going to be taken care of, I could see somebody thinking that men can be more selfish, and just making sure they're straight and not necessarily always having the, what's the word I'm looking for? Not having the option to always be there. I guess if I'm for lack of a better term, you know, a mother is usually looked at as somebody that has to stick around, when sometimes the fathers don't always. But this is Black History Month, and Black fathers are the most present in the household, just to let y'all know. So I'm not saying that y'all overall are deadbeats. I'm just talking about how the dynamics work sometimes. Somebody said being rational. There's a debate that people say that men are more logical and women are more emotional. But I don't know. I don't know. I feel like we're all emotional, because I see men getting emotional all the time, leading with emotion, communicating with emotion, acting off of emotion. And maybe the emotions that are being expressed are may not always be the same. So maybe that's where we get thrown off, because anger is an emotion, passion is an emotion, um, rage is an emotion. All of these things that are easily expressed. It doesn't have to always be sadness, tears, whatever. I think we both definitely express emotions all the time. Someone said hide their emotions. Some men do. Some men do. Um, Someone said act feminine. I'm gonna leave that one alone. Crying when you cheat back, choose themselves. It was a lot of choose themselves, prioritize themselves, living selfishly, um, living a double life. Somebody said taking accountability and apologizing. And let me ask this. Is it that men have more opportunity to have something to apologize about? I'm just joking. I know women be wrong too. I know we were wrong sometimes too. And that was something that I struggled with in my teens and my early 20s. Like, I was never wrong, and whether I was just never wrong, and I did not apologize, and that was me. Healing, y'all. It works. Someone said lying for no reason. Someone last night that I was speaking to said that they feel like men lie more, but women lie bigger. So I don't know. There's nothing wrong. Okay, so Yusuf Dot Corley on Instagram says, what's wrong with prioritizing yourself for both men and women? I don't think anything is wrong with prioritizing self. The question was, do men prioritize themselves better than women? Because there was a post on the Shade Room that said, what do men do better than women? And a lot of women commented prioritizing themselves. So I was really just bringing the conversation to, is there truth to that? Do men have an easier time prioritizing themselves? And what can women learn from men when it comes to prioritizing themselves? And then I also wanted to recognize that some men, or men, do have the pressure of being in charge, the lead, having it all together, providing, protecting, and all these things. So I recognize that as well. But I do think men, I think we can take notes from y'all when it comes to prioritizing ourselves. So someone did comment thinking logically and not emotionally. And a lot of people in the comments were saying every war in human history was started by men who act on emotion. I don't even know about the emotional part. They be crash dummies. Men are just as emotional. Anger is an emotion. See, I said that. I hadn't even read this. Anger is an emotion. Aggression is emotional. Ego is emotional. Emotional is an act of showing emotion, not just crying. Exactly. I just said that. So she said men lose their minds whenever they feel like they have been disrespected, kill, fight wars, or start wars. Imagine if women did the same. Very interesting. Interesting. Greetings. So Yusuf, what do you have to say about that? Yusuf.Corley. And Soul Lifter One, aka TJ, what's up? You missed yesterday's show. I shouted you out for your birthday. And it's still up on YouTube. This is my new show, y'all, that I'll be streaming every day on YouTube, but I'm here on Instagram for the first week. Just to let y'all know, and I need y'all to head over to YouTube to make sure you've subscribed to my channel. Again, that's youtube.com/@Osha Cerese. OSHACERESE. Today we're talking about Finesse two-time, his woman, one of his women, because he has multiple women, rented this big bubble dome and had pictures hanging from the ceiling and balloons and fruit and cheese and music and food and all of this to ask him to be her Valentine. So I was asking, is this something that men want? Is this something that, when it comes to romance, should it be an equal thing when it comes to the type of gestures that are done? Do men want the type of gestures that women normally would receive when it comes to romance? And when it comes to asking somebody to be your Valentine, men, are y'all sitting around waiting on your woman or a woman to ask you? Or do you prefer to be the one that's asking? And another question I ask is, has Valentine's Day shifted from being for couples to being centered around women? So Yusuf.Corley says, pour into your cup self-care, physical and mental wellness, so you have the capacity to pour into others. Absolutely. You got to pour from that. You got to give from the overflow. And I think a lot of women give from an empty cup or a half full cup or just at the tip cup and then drain it back out versus filling it up and allowing people to have the overflow. So is that what the men are doing differently? I don't know. So Soul Lifter One says, we don't want it, but when it's done, it's always greatly appreciated. That man would do more for you if he feels appreciated. I agree. So I do agree with making your man feel appreciated, but I also mentioned about the love languages. So for some men, for a woman to do all of that might be corny to him. He might be like, you spent the money on that when I would have loved to just go to the game on Sunday, or I would have, wanted to go to the racetrack with my homeboys, or I would have wanted to have a spa day, or just spend some time with you. You didn't even have to spend that money, and we could have just did my favorite thing at the house, watch some movies, and So I want to know, is the gesture as appreciated when it's not really the man's thing, or it's not aligned with their love language? Would you all much rather have a personalized experience tailored to what you like, or do you receive whatever? So he said, nah, that man don't appreciate her then. So whatever she does is appreciated regardless. For most men, it's the gesture. Okay. Taking notes. But I must say, I'm gonna lean into. I'm leaning back into my thought process for this, for like past relationships, and maybe these are toxic relationships that I'm referencing. But I know, like with my ex-husband, anytime he had a dream, any idea that he would tell me, I would go into like action mode. So he told me he wanted to be an artist. I'm like, he just told me this in conversation. I didn't mention it again. Next thing you know, he had canvases, acrylic paint, oil paint, books on how to paint, all the paint brushes and all this stuff. And he did receive that gift well. He started painting, he started doing art. So that was received well. He said he wanted to be he wanted to own a restaurant. I still got books on the shelf that I bought him. How to open a restaurant, looking and researching it. There was a couple of other business ideas. I did those, researched them, did all the things. I remember some gifts that I gave him that probably aligned more to what I like. Like, for example, before I get into that, so he told me that I was too supportive. So I already know that another man would appreciate those type of things, depending on what type of man they are, as far as like if they appreciate support or they, I think it has to do with a personal thing too. So if he had fear or hesitancy or self-doubt in the things that I was putting action to, no matter what I did to support the dream, unless he was ready to do it, it probably seemed more like pressure than support. So I get that now. But then there was another time when we had gotten into a car accident, and for weeks, I couldn't, no, actually it had been months. I couldn't find our original marriage license. So one day out the blue, I realized, oh, the marriage license was in the car that we got into the accident in. So I had went to the impound, found it, and I was like so happy that I found it. So I had got it framed with some wedding photos of ours, and I had wrote this beautiful poem about how my love for him is like the action that I took to find this, and like I compared it to, it was dope. I wish I still had a copy of it. It was like the way he received the gift, it was just not giving. I just know that if I would have received that gift, I would have been crying. I would have been so excited. So I do feel like there's a difference based on how people receive certain things. And we often give gifts in the same way that we would want to receive them, not paying attention to what our partner actually desires to have. That's just my thought about it. So Yusuf says it depends. TJ Soul Lifter 1 says, for anybody, you should know your partner both ways. I get it. I get that. Yusuf Corley says, if I'm meeting someone new and we haven't dropped into what we enjoy and how we like to receive love, I would receive the gesture with gratitude. If we have history together and have communicated the ways we receive love, then I'd wonder if my partner was listening. I'd listen, or I still receive the gesture, and at a later time, I'd remind them the ways. I feel that. I feel that, and I feel that. I get that. So basically, y'all, men do appreciate the nice gestures, the kind gestures, but they still, you know, they want you to listen and pay attention. They're gonna appreciate it regardless in most cases, depending on the man. But they definitely appreciate things that are personalized for them, as everybody does, I'm sure. That is funny. So, again, it is almost Valentine's Day, almost Black Love Day, as I just found out we have such a thing. So, I always recommend my program, 5 Ways in 5 Days, when Valentine's Day is coming up, because it is about learning how to incorporate the love languages into your daily acts of self love and self care. Not only is it about utilizing the love language for yourself, it is also about discovering if you have any blockages or what the root issues are for the blockages you have for giving and receiving love, because a lot of people have no idea why they're uncomfortable or they cringe when somebody gives them a hug or touches them when they laugh, or um, why they can't receive compliments well. Some people cannot receive compliments or give compliments without feeling the ick. Um, why they don't like receiving gifts. Where does that come from? Why they don't like nobody doing nothing for them. Acts of service. Like, you can't do anything for them. You can't help them. They Mr. or Mrs. Independent. Or, why they have a hard time spending time with people uninterrupted, that quality time, having conversations, why that might make them feel uncomfortable to, have that closeness with somebody. All of that is in the program as well. It helps you identify those roots, because most likely it comes from childhood. So it gives you some prompts and opportunities to dive into that and to clear those blockages. That program is called 5 Ways in 5 Days. It's on my website, oshacerese.com, OSHACERESE.com. You can always enroll in that, and it's pretty self-paced. You can actually complete the program in 5 days. That's why it's called 5 Ways, aka the 5 love languages, in 5 days. But it's self-paced, so you can take your time getting through each module. There is also a healing program that I always want to be able to invite you to. It was designed for singles, but it is definitely appropriate for all type of dynamics. If you're in a relationship, if you've been married and you kind of just feel like you've lost yourself, or maybe you never really knew yourself. It is about healing, self-love, and self-discovery. And it is definitely perfect for singles, because these are the things that we need to know about ourselves and dive into before we keep carrying and dragging this baggage from relationship to relationship. So it allows you to unpack, and it then progresses you through a journey that, once you unpack, get to know yourself, heal some of the things, identify some things, get all of this stuff out of your head and onto the paper, do some exercises and do some work. This also includes coaching sessions as well. You can then start talking about what do you want in your future partner and how to align with that. So that is called One Single Step at a Time. You can enroll in that. And then, of course, we have the Power of No coming up. That is all about how to set boundaries, healthy boundaries, learning your core values, how to say no without guilt, and how to stop people pleasing. That is coming up. So you can DM me or comment on this video and say the power of no, and I will send you more information about the power of no. If you're not ready to get in a course, if you feel like, yeah, I know I need some healing, I know I could use a little work, but I'm not ready to invest in a course or a workshop or coaching sessions. You, even outside of the programs, you can always do one-on-one sessions. Um, get you a guided journal. How to Beat Single. How to Beat Single is the journal for you if you need that same type of work, but you just want to do it on your own time, self-paced, work on it as you go. You don't really need guidance or support and coaching. You just want to have something where you can get your healing done, maybe at night before you go to bed. Maybe you want to journal during the day or when you first wake up. It has some powerful tools, exercises, and information in the guided journal, How to Beat Single. That's on my website, oshacerese.com. And if you don't want to do that, you don't want to spend the $20 for a guided journal, or you don't want to invest into a course, subscribe to the newsletter. It's coming back soon. We're going to be sending out newsletters weekly starting in the spring. So just add yourself to the newsletter and you will receive them soon. I'm getting prepared for all of that in this month of February. This month is focused on getting this show in alignment, the Osha Cerese Show. We're gonna, get the kinks out, get the technical difficulties out, get the flow together. And I'm not trying to put too much on my plate, so I ain't promising you no newsletter this month. But sign up for it and you will receive it when it comes out. So I just want y'all to know that I am excited to show up for you every day for these conversations. And I want y'all to engage. There's going to be more every day. It's going to get better every day. And stay tuned for other episodes of not only the Osha Cerese Show, but Connections and Conversations. We're coming back with that. If you haven't checked out an episode of Connections and Conversations, check out My Instagram. Check out my Instagram. I'm trying to think. Let me look and see if they're on my page. My YouTube channel. They should be under live videos on my YouTube channel. There's one that was pre-recorded. The first one was pre-recorded and uploaded, so it'll be under videos. But the other episodes are under the live tab on my YouTube channel. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So they're there. So if you haven't checked it out, Connections and Conversations is also about self-love, healing, and intentional dating. But its main mission is to bridge the gap between men and women. So that's going to be coming up weekly, Connections and Conversations. And then I'm also going to be hosting an audio room in Fanbase, on the Fanbase app. So I'll tell y'all more about that this week coming up. Let me know what you think of the Osha Cerese Show. Today, I'm not going to lie, Auntie a little tired. I got a late start today. So I didn't get to talk about everything that I wanted to talk about today. Again, like I said yesterday and today is kind of like the pre-shows, because I'm just wanting to get out the kinks and try out the different flow of how we're going to do this show. But starting next month is probably going to be a Monday through Friday show. But this month I'm going to show up every day. I'm going to be disciplined, and I want y'all to keep me accountable, hold me accountable to showing up every day. The goal for this show is for it to be a midday reset. So it's going to be somewhere between 12 and 1 o'clock, either 12, 12:30, or 1 o'clock. So for those of you who work, you're going to have to put me in your earpiece or watch me on your lunch break. And those of you who are self-employed like me, take this hour to just chill and relax and tune in with me and have a conversation with me. And for those that ain't got no damn job like Tommy, y'all better be watching. So that's what this show is going to be, like a midday reset. And we're going to have some more interesting topics, some more interesting conversations. And I'm really excited. I'm excited to be here with y'all. And again, you know, I'm a coach. I've already told you about the programs. Again, if you struggle with setting boundaries, putting yourself first, pouring into yourself, your own self-discovery, and you need somebody to kind of guide you with some tools and tips, or if you need somebody to just hold space for you and listen and help you to unpack some of the things that you are going through, or if you're working on something, I've coined myself the dream doula, because I am the GOAT of helping people birth their ideas and their dream life. So if there's something you're trying to do in life, love, or your career, holla at me. A lot of my coaching is with people who are newly divorced or have recently had a breakup, healing from heartbreak, people who are stuck with 1,000 ideas, similar to how I am. A very multifaceted, multi-hyphenate type person, multi-passionate. But I always say I need me a me, because it's always easy for people who have the type of gifts that I have to do it for other people, but we overthink when it comes to ourselves. But you have the option of getting you a me. If you have an idea or you're working on a business or whatever, and you need strategies on what to do with your content or how to monetize and utilize your gifts, how to create certain ebooks. I design ebooks. I do a little bit of basic little web design and stuff like that, but that's not, it ain't like what you think it is, but it's decent enough if you need some basic graphics, some basic support on ebooks, websites, content strategies. Even I can help support you direct the content if you're local to Atlanta. I'm going to start highlighting more of the work that I've done, because a lot of people don't know that I'm really dope when it comes to directing, creative direction. So I'm going to start highlighting more. I'm telling y'all so y'all can hold me accountable. 2025, I'm showing up and showing y'all what it is that I do so that it makes sense when I have an offer. So you when did you start doing this? So you won't be feeling like that. So I'm gonna start showing some of the work that I've done outside of the coaching. So, anywho, happy Sunday, y'all. I'm gonna leave y'all with an exercise. Let me see what I wrote. So, this is a quick love language exercise. Basically, just think about how you show love versus how you receive love. What is your love language? Or I like to ask people what their top two, because most everybody wants to be loved in every way. You know, you want the words of affirmation, the quality time, the physical touch, receiving the gifts and the acts of service. But what are your top two? How do you like to show it, and how do you like to receive it? And how does it impact the way you give and receive love in relationships? And this relationship, if you don't have a boo, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be a familial relationship, friendship, or just a blossoming um, relationship that you are learning or getting to know somebody. How do you show up for them? How do you show that you like them a lot? And yesterday we had a question too. I will repeat that one because I did ask if anybody wanted to come back today and tell me what they felt about it. But I'm going to just put this because yesterday we talked a lot about boundaries. So the question yesterday was, think about a time when a boundary you set was either respected or crossed. How did it make you feel, and what would you do differently today? So those are the two journal prompts that I will leave you all with on this wonderful Sunday. Again, pray for me. I ain't gonna ask for your prayers, but wish me luck on this juicing and raw vegan cleanse. I'm vegan, but I need to lose some pounds. I've been eating too much processed foods and all this stuff. And it's not that it's difficult to do this, because I love juicing and I love the raw dishes. Yesterday we had I made some pasta out of zucchini noodles. It had some lemon and olives, cherry tomatoes, and I made some marinated mushrooms with jerk seasoning. That was good. Today, I made some raw tacos with walnut meat and mushrooms. I made a pico de gallo, some avocado, like an avocado crema, and had some little vegetables on it. And romaine lettuce. That was the shell. That was good. So it's not a matter of not liking it. It's just having to balance the time that it takes to prep. It takes a long time to juice, and it takes a long time to make raw meals. So wish me luck on being able to do this. And I'm getting ready to actually go prep some more meals and make some more juice for the week. Can't make it for the whole week, but for the next couple of days. And that's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my Sunday. And then I'm going to get somewhere and sit my butt down and relax. And I hope you all do the same. Again, thank you for tuning in to the Osha Cerese Show. I hope to see you all every day, as I am setting the intention to show up every day. Love you. Hope you got something good out of this conversation. And I will talk to you later.